Ryan Hansen, the digital learning director. I work with the Davis School District. Some things that we know and we hang our hat on in Davis, first of all, human connection. There's no substitute for human connection, and there never ever will be. It's essential in the K-12 setting. You've got to connect to a teacher and a mentor. Still, I'm a firm believer that we can take digital tools and enhance human connection rather than reduce it. One oh crap wipes out 1,000 attaboys. So good teachers, good coaches. It's always 5 positives to 1 negative. We believed at North Davis, and especially with the more at-risk students, the ratio had to be higher. It had to be 7 to 1. So as we went into the online setting, the big question is, what things translate over to that online setting that we know are good, solid teaching practices? As the digital learning director, one of the things that we decided early was that we needed an LMS. Canvas allows parents and students to have 24/7 access to teacher resources. We know what kids are doing when they're in Canvas. It's hard to get that data out sometimes, but the data is there. There's downsides to Canvas. If you ask kids, they don't like Canvas. It's basic. We like that it's universal. It can be used in a lot of different ways, but it needs something else to engage in the way where we're looking for 5 positives to 1 negative. Canvas itself is going to fall way short on that. And like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of data in Canvas. It's getting it out in a usable way. That's what we need. So when we met Dr. Chapman and we looked at Delphinium, we were immediately interested. First of all, it gives us better insight as to where kids are. It has a different look, and we are looking for those little drops of dopamine. That's really what those attaboys are, right? The 5 to 1 is how do we go dopamine, 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 constructive criticism with love, keep kids moving that way and challenge them that way. They need the positive. And in the online setting where they're not always looking directly at a teacher, it's hard to give them that in that type of frequency. What we really love about Delphinium is the fact that we can send targeted communication to specific groups of kids. And with the data visibility, it helps us identify who those kids are so we can get that communication right to them. Sarah Labarge, she's our curriculum director within Davis Connect. She may have some things that would be helpful as well.
I will say that after 15 minutes of a walk through pretty much just the tour with Jared of how Delphinium works, I said, Jared, you just saved me hours of mail merging because I was trying to get personalized messages where my students that are doing well and they're progressing and they're above pace and they're moving forward and they're doing great. Like, what message do I send to them versus my students that are not as engaged, or my students that are in the middle, right? They're on the borderline of I might lose them if they continue in this trend that I've been seeing the last week. And I just think that this saves teachers so much time and really brings that part of personalized learning that we're all trying to reach for. I don't think that this is an online-only solution. Before I came online, I worked at a Title I junior high, and I would say that those concerns were the same, and I was using Canvas with them too. Students have to live in a brick and mortar classroom, but there's a virtual component, right? They're working towards proficiency. What's my part as a teacher, and what's the part of the student? How much do I allow the student to kind of choose their pace and their path? I like that Delphinium has both sides, right? That the students are, to self-monitor and be self-aware. There's just so much that they can do from that Delphinium dashboard. Like, they can get to so many functions that's, Canvas backed, whether it's grades or modules or a particular assignment, as well as then those gamification things. I knew that this was a game changer when I heard about it, but now that we've been using it for several months, and when I'm getting emails from students and parents and or via teachers about the successes that they're seeing and them referring to Delphinium and them referring to their homepage and referring to their progress and their excitement about it, that just shows that it's visible to them, right?
We've got to do a better job, like Sarah said, of teaching kids to self-monitor and self-pace, managing their workloads. Delphinium takes a really big step for us in helping students see where am I at and where do I need to be. And so as we learn how to better teach that to kids, I think that's going to continue to be a big part of that puzzle, both in the online classroom and in the traditional setting. We can confidently say that we're seeing better success with Delphinium. Look at our data there and see that we improve significantly. I'll also say this about our broader school district. So we have 70,000+ kids, 3,000 teachers. We will turn on Delphinium to all of those teachers for use in their schools and classrooms. Actually, they're asking us for it now. And so we're in the process of going district-wide with Delphinium.